felt like a Spanish, like a Puerto Rican in this hair.
What up?
Hello, hello. Dadalogues Unfiltered. Beyond the Porch.
Here we go again.
Making it happen, man. It's a beautiful day today.
Yeah, man. Well, beautiful evening. It rained like damn it this morning.
So spring break's kind of hit. We've just wrapping up spring break for our kids. So, man, spring is here. So tonight I want to jump into kind of talking about how spring is here in Alabama. I want to jump into the spring break, kind of go on this trip. You know, I went on a work trip, but it was a spring break trip too.
Yep. 2 birds, 1 stone.
And I want to look back at some old MTV spring breaks and kind of go into that.
The 90s.
Mm-hmm. And then, you know, sports season, man. Baseball's been firing off. We got March Madness.
Yep.
Got a lot of projects at home going on. Kind of talk about how our summer's going to look.
Yeah. Hot.
So,
It's a guarantee. It's going to be hot.
You know, work's already starting. You know, I work with a lot of molding machines, and it's already starting to get hot in there.
Mm.
You got these machines running like 500 degrees, right? Ooh,
Sure. Yeah.
It's like
gotta
an
keep
oven.
that plastic hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
So,
man,
you mowed yet?
I need to.
Have you haven't done your first mow?
No.
Me either. Me either. I haven't even tried to start mine. I know it's going to give me shit.
Looking in the yard, it's like I got a lot of weeds.
It's rained a lot though.
It's been really windy.
Yeah, when you gonna mow
Had a
it?
lot of. I was gonna do it today. Instead, I decided to fire the grill up and us have a good family time tonight, which I much more prefer doing that because once you start mowing,
Yeah, don't stop.
Yep. Then it's when do you find time to do it?
That's my deal. It's going to be a Sunday event for me this year, I guess.
Because it's weeds. I've got to mow the weeds right now.
Uh-huh.
I can worry about the grass in 2 weeks.
I got to spray. The hell with weed eating.
Yeah,
I'm spraying.
I've debated doing a like a weed be gone, but I'd lose my entire yard, and then I'm gonna have to like get like a disc and disc up the ground.
Yeah.
Replant some seeds. I really need to level it off because when I did my house construction, I did something stupid.
Mm.
I thought I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
So 2 things happened.
Yeah.
I had dirt, and then no gutters. So I have like this stain about 3 foot off the ground.
You beating
all
a
the
trench
way
around your house.
Yeah, where it started
Yeah.
raining, and then it splattered the mud on the house, and I can't get that off the brick.
Mm.
And then it's like once I got gutters on there, the ground already had all these little washouts. So when I'm mowing around these areas in the house, it's like all these bumps.
Yeah.
I hate it.
And I hate mine mowing my yard because it's like one wrong move with on zero turn and you got a 12-foot drop to pavement. You know what I mean? I got that huge steep ditch.
Yeah, I mean, you got a big like it's cool in some aspects. Like when you don't live there, you can walk by and like this is kind of cool.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. It's different. It's a pain in the ass is what it is. It's a lot of weed eating and spraying. And, yeah, it's on a hill. I hate living on a hill. I'm ready for a flat piece of property, man.
Yeah.
How you dealing with the pollen? You and yours holding up?
The kids have like they got some. We were coming back from our trip, and the preschool calls. I'm like an hour and a half away.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Hey, you need to come get your daughter. She's got pink eye." I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my god! Like I'm coming back from my trip, and then now I've got to deal with pink eye.
Yeah.
I pick her up, and her eyes are barely just like she looks
swelled up
tired.
and red.
Yeah, she stayed with grandma all week, so she's tired. And I think it was a lack of sleep, and then my gosh, everything is green.
Yeah. Dude, my truck, it went through it twice. So yesterday we wake up, it's covered. It rained real good, rinsed it off. After a day at the field, covered again.
Mm-hmm.
And Jaden ends up bleeding out of his face. Like he's sitting there catching. And out of nowhere, he's just like holding up his glove and he's just pouring blood out of his nose.
No, yeah,
so it's done got to him too.
We had for lunch the other day. I was like, man, it's so pretty out. I went over to the grandma's house to get a sandwich, and I parked the truck. The sunroof's back, windows are cracked. I come back out, my whole dash has got that green film on it.
Yep, it's good stuff, man. It'll be pretty, and make flowers and whatnot.
Yeah,
you know, after you're snotting and miserable.
So it's just that time of year in Alabama. There's no point in washing your car.
Nope.
It's just going to turn green.
Between mud and pollen, yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Do you enjoy mowing?
I think I'd enjoy it better if it wasn't, life risky.
So this past week, I paid my lawnmower off, and
nice.
So it's like, oh wow, like I'm really excited. Then I get the phone call, hey, do you want to extend your insurance on it? I'm like, well, hell, how much is it? It's like $130 a year. It's like, okay, that's not bad. Like
you could be like, mine needs a stator, and like, I'm like, man, I just don't want to.
So like, by no means am I bragging when I bought a really expensive lawnmower, and there's a story to that. So the last house I got to, I was like, I want to get me a nice lawnmower, and I had about a half-acre lawn. I bought the lawnmower. It's a 0-turn. It was a Hustler, and you got to be real careful looking up parts for a Hustler lawnmower.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Google Hustler,
yeah.
and then careful. But I had a lot of issues out of it when I started mowing here, and so this used to be a cow pasture that I'm at now, and I've got about 7 or 8 acres. And when I first started mowing right here, it was really rough. I was really bush hogging with it. Now, when I look at the specs on this thing, it's like it's really rated for a half acre or less. And I thought it was a bigger lawnmower until I really started seeing what a big lawnmower looks like.
For sure, those commercial grade ones, man, they're tough.
So the lawnmower I've got now is a commercial grade, and the front tires on my current lawnmower are bigger than the back wheels on my last 0-turn.
Sure.
So huge difference.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how small it was until I got into it and looked, because before I just have the standard tractor, and like that's all I ever had. You know, you go spend $600-700, get you a little pony now, cheap little things that break real easy. But out here, I was spending 4 to 5 hours trying to mow.
That's a lot. Yeah, that would become. It's nice to do it in like an hour to 2 hours. I'd say is good. Few beers. Nice easy ride. And that's what makes mowing fun. But after some point,
like 5-6 hours, and it's like it's your whole day.
Yeah, it becomes a chore, and you get a bush hog at that point. Yeah.
So I had a lot of issues. The one that I'm gonna blame this on the wife. She came out here mowing one day, and she hit a stump or something kind of large stick, and it never was the same after that. And I'd take a video of the clutch, and I'd see the clutch kind of do this like wobbly shape, and then there's a wire that went to it. And as that wire would wiggle, it would start breaking the threads in it, because it wasn't a solid core wire. It was a multi-core wire that had little pieces would break, and as it would break, it would build up heat. When the wire, it was almost
sitting there shortening out.
Yeah, it went from like having like a 12 gauge wire down to like a 24 gauge wire, and then it was just like a thread, and it would get hot, and then it would overheat and burn the clutch up. So I'd put like 5 clutches on it, and it would spend half the time in warranty status, and it was just so frustrating.
Well,
and
I remember going through lawnmowers for the longest. It's like with my chainsaws and stuff. But it was every year I would go buy a weed eater off of Marketplace or some kind of like cheap whatever.
You know what I used to do? My dad used to. We buy the cheapest weed eater, $80, $60.
You're out there adjusting the carburetor on day one, and
it cranks up fine the first like few weeks.
Yeah, because whatever. But I got tired of it, and I went and bought steel. I actually told Kendall, I was like, hey, I'm about to go spend some money, and which we didn't have. And anyway, she actually broke it. It's broke too. But she broke it. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I went, that kind of like was my first, like, I want to say the first time I really felt like a man of the house is when I went and bought the like really expensive weed eater. I got pissed off because I'm out there trying to crank the freaking weed eater, and I'm cussing.
It's a battle every spring and summer.
And I throw it down, and I was like, I'm done with this shit. And I jump in the truck. I go to the little local like lawn place.
Did you buy steel?
I did.
Yeah, it's the bomb, dude. Every year it's there, and you don't have to mess with it.
I put new fuel in it at the beginning of the season. I pour it out at the end of the season. I put new fuel in it.
Yep.
I'll clean the spark plug maybe every other year.
I haven't touched mine.
And dude, I do the thing on where you pull the trigger, lock it.
Yeah, Germans make good stuff, man.
Pump it a few times, crank it, and it runs.
The Germans, the Swedes, they about got some USA stuff beat for real.
So like that was my first like big like, oh man, but it's like $300-400 for a lawnmower or a weed eater. And you're like, that's a lot, but hey,
it's a lot. But I ain't bought another one.
10 years later, it still works.
Yep,
like it did on day one.
Yeah, last time my winter, and it's actually the steel protocol, I guess you say. The only thing you got to do to winterize one is let it idle out of gas, let it kill its own self out. You put it up. And then, by God, next year, you fill it back up, and it's like 2-3 pulls. We're running again.
I did I'd kind of done a walk behind tiller. I spent most of the day Saturday tearing the carb apart, and I couldn't get the jet to come out. I didn't have a pick. I was like, man, I can't get the the needle to come out. Like that's the most, like that's probably what's clogged in it. And I just put it back together, put it on. I couldn't get it to crank. I was like, I could take it apart again. So I had to take it all the way. And man, it wasn't easy because like the air filter is designed over everything, like all the linkages.
10
so you
pounds
have
of
to
shit in
like
a 5-pound sack.
Yeah, so you have to connect everything together and then bolt it all together.
Man, I spent a few summers growing up doing. My grandpa had like a big like self pull.
You ever get these weird feelings like I didn't hit record or record?
Hell yeah, I love it.
So sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Like I mean, the big boys. It's probably one of the bigger or biggest walk behinds that they make. It's self propelled. Does the whole nine. And I can remember being like, I don't know, real young and just holding on to this, and just letting it do its thing.
Well, see, I've not used these tillers very much. And I put it in gear, and I'm like, this thing's like taking off. I was like, man, this is hard to control. I realized there's a forward rotation and a reverse rotation on the tiller.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so the wheels are going forward, but the tilling's going backwards. Oh, that was a lot easier.
Yeah, no doubt.
So,
yeah, man, it's dragging your ass all over.
I'm like, that's why I'm sore today. I'm trying to like hold it, boy, hold it.
Yeah. No, it's a long way from mule and wagon, man. I know that. Not that I've ever had the chance to do it, but
my dad would share stories where my great aunt, like she is born in like 1914, and so she would share some of that, like the mule and the stuff. Like they did a lot by hand.
Speaking of which, man, you're starting 1923 tonight. You're starting it like you haven't seen a episode of it.
No, I've watched it, but
You've
I've
watched
not
all the Yellowstone
most
and
recent.
though.
Yeah, I think they've just come out with a new season of 1923.
So you've watched
in the last
the first
couple weeks.
season.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to be, at least you're a few episodes behind because damn, we're off to a slow start. But
yeah.
I like it though. Yeah.
So I got to catch on to it. So I'll say all this about like being pissed off at my mower. I wound up going to the Kubota place and I'm pissed because I'm tired of going through lawnmowers and I'm tired of spending 5 hours mowing. And I sit down on this mower and the seat bounces up and down like a
It's
tractor
got
trailer.
air ride.
I was like, this is great. I'm like, because, like I was saying, my yard is all jacked up and I'm tired of it hurts my back.
Sure.
Like I'm having regrets about buying a piece of property and buying this and building this house because it's like, this is torture to mow.
Yeah.
Like this isn't how it's supposed to be. And then I go get quotes and it's going to be like $150 to $250 a week to mow my yard. It's like, no way. It's like, okay, well, it's $200 a month to.
It is a big yard though.
Buy a mower. I bought a big ass commercial grade mower. I feel like I'm in the Talladega, super speedway coming down the back hill. Because if I do it just right, the rear end will slide just a little bit.
Yeah. So my grandpa has one similar to yours. I think it's a Gravely or what is it? Gravely. Big old thing. And mine went down last summer, and I had to kind of borrow his while mine was in the shop. And I remember mowing that sketchy part that I've been referring to, but his and yours even is so much higher up. I have a 0 turn, but it's like right under a commercial. It's like the biggest residential they make. It's still like 54 or something,
it's
or 56.
Like bigger wheels than.
Yeah, it's pretty beefy, I think. And but anyway, it's kind of low. It's like a bucket seat almost. And then I get on his, and it's like I'm teetering on the edge of death, and then I'm higher up, so it's kind of a little bit of a mind trick. Anyway, we got it done, but 0 turns are sketchy, especially on hills.
I bet so.
Like like on that one side of my driveway, I just drive up the driveway, raise the deck, drive up the driveway, get there, lower the deck, 1, 2, 3. And then I just do that about 4 times.
It's kind of sketchy driving up your driveway in my truck. Yeah, I'm just going to throw that out there.
Oh, man, that kills me. Some of the UPS people or whoever it is, delivery people, I don't know which one it is, but they used to complain. They're like, I can't make it up there. I'm like, my wife drives a Toyota, like a sedan. It's a Corolla, and it was fine.
And he's like, I pull a truck and a 20-foot trailer.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I think our trailers are 20.
It's more like 18, maybe.
Yeah, 18, 20, something like that. Big enough, but no, we manage. A lot of trees.
Speaking of trees, man, you spent a lot of time cleaning up in the yard.
Yeah. Now we had a limb that we was waiting to bust a windshield or something out, and then I don't know, man. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not gonna say that. But we've been real lucky in the time we've lived there. That's there's always a limb dying on some tree somewhere.
So that's part of this weather. This time of the year, we've got a lot of wind. The tornado season's still here. You get a lot of random pop-up storms. Rain's
it's gonna get rough tonight, right?
Yep, I think they're calling for some. School's delayed, so we're up a little late tonight. Our wives are like, "Don't be so late. It's a school night." But you know what? Y'all got to sleep in tomorrow. We still got to go to work at the same time.
Yep, same time.
But kids can sleep in a little bit. So, well, do you do a lot of spring cleaning?
Nope. I don't do a lot of cleaning, bro.
my spring cleaning is cleaning out the shop, and that's tough for me because I'm a hoarder. Like I'll have a bolt, and 20 years from now, I'm going to use that bolt, and I'm going to look back and be like, "Remember, I saved this, and I never knew when I was going to need it.
No.
But I finally need it."
Yep.
There was a commercial that came out that makes fun of.
I think it was a Facebook reel is what I seen on. It's like the dad has a lot. He's like, "We need 2 blocks of wood stacked up."
And it's like
he's
this
like,
golden moment.
Yeah,
It's my moment.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. I can see that. I need the room to be that guy because, boy, I'm so disorganized and just piled up with stuff.
Well, see, I had one of those moments yesterday when I was cleaning out that carburetor. I was like, it'd be really nice if I had something like narrow enough to poke through here.
Pine straw.
I've got a piece of scrap wire, steel wire. That's this perfect spot for this. Sure enough, I found a little balled up. I had it in a ball. It's like, this is perfect.
Yeah, you remember.
I was like, and I took it and I could poke it through the needle, and I could use it to like spin to break loose stuff.
A million ways to skin a cat, man.
Yep. So I got the engine to run. Now here, I will say this: you're supposed to pull the little thing out for the choke to go on.
Mm-hmm.
And normally when you crank an engine, you have the choke on, and once it cranks and starts turning, you push the choke in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm running it with the choke open now. So something's going crazy where if I push the choke in, it kills it. So either I've got it backwards, which is very likely.
Or it's still a little dirty and it just ain't getting a lot of gas and it's needing full choke to stay running.
Yeah. But because when you pull the choke, it closes the air out.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
more vapor buildup.
So
you might not be getting enough
I was
gas
explaining that to Lucas yesterday. I did get him to spend a little bit of time outside with me to, hey, let's work on an engine. Because like this is an important part of growing up.
For sure.
It's like I've got... there's 3 things on this engine to make it work. To make it engine turn over and fire, you got to have 3 things. Like, what are they? And he's like, well, gas. I'm like, yep, that's one.
Yep, fuel.
And it's like, fire is like, well, you get spark. And he's like, what's the other thing? And it kind of stumped him. So we got to have air, right? So you got to have something to burn. You got to have something to make it a spark, and you got to have air. Yeah. That's like if your engine's not working, like this tiller, we tried to crank it, and he tried to pull the first time I've ever seen him try to pull an engine. It's like, that's just not easy. Like, nope. And I think doing those little things with the boys, like it helps them understand the value of like what a man can bring. Like as a boy, you can't do it. One day you can.
Yeah. You'll get stronger. Yeah. No, I remember getting shut up by my dad a lot like that, and I always be like, one day. No, I don't know if it was one day or if it was just like, oh shit, wow, he can actually do that.
Yeah, it's harder than it looks.
I watched my dad pick up a tree one time. I swear on everything I love. I vaguely remember I was very young. We were walking the fence and a little bitty pine. I say little bitty, but it was only like this big. But you know how pines are. They're this big, but they're like 30 foot long.
Right.
And it had fell across the fence. And his gorilla self just gets over there towards the base of the tree and just picks this fucking 30. I mean, just like it had, anyway. But I was kind of in the way. And like he screamed at me, like, move. Like,
you're getting butthurt at this time.
I know. I was like terrified. I was like, oh shit. So I'm getting out of Dodge. And then, no, I do recall the moment, like after the tree fell, he just kind of like tossed it off the fence. But, hell, that tree might not have even made it 3 foot off the ground, but like my memory is like that. He just like stood it up and
it's like he was a giant manhandling the tree.
Stood it up and threw it. Yeah. It's kind of cool thinking back on it as a boy. It's like you kind of think he's a superhero sometimes.
Right. Yeah, I remember my dad working on the cars. Like, it was the rack and pinion he replaced, and I was like, that's pretty cool. Like the rack and pinion, like that's the steering systems. It's not just changing the brakes. It was like he did like a big project.
It was a little complex.
Yeah. But I don't think it ever drove right after that.
It just needed a line.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Yeah.
So, But no, see I like spring cleaning for me is cleaning the shop out. And that's what I was kind of getting to a minute ago. It's like I've got so much crap in there. I've got to like I'll take the boat and everything out, and I'll go through the walls and all the workbenches that have just piled up over the winter, and just start cleaning it all out. And I feel really good about it until I put stuff back in.
Yeah, and then it just clutters right
It
back
clutters
up.
right back up. Like I really want to have a shop. I feel like I've got a storage bin.
I need one. Hoping we're buying another house in the next couple of years. Speaking of pollen, Dan, was you planning for it?
That's the wife. I didn't even realize it. This is Noah's wife.
Yeah,
you know,
I did just kind of realize it too. That's funny. Oh, man.
When you have kids, so her and Kenley will come down and they jump down here in the studio room and they watch TV. So like when they come play in the basement, within like 5 minutes of playing, she's like, "Let's go watch Miss Rachel." And so they come over here, and so every time I come down here, there's like a window opened up of Miss Rachel.
Yeah.
So, well, the nice weather, man.
Yeah.
How much of it do you think we got left?
Before it gets just blatantly hot and disrespectful. I don't know. I feel like we got another good 4 weeks of off and on, but it's going to be hit or miss with
It's
wind
going to go
and
by
rain.
so fast.
Yeah, it's going to go by quick. Them Saturdays are going to be rough at that field.
Mm-hmm. So you're spending the weekends now. You're in travel. I'm doing rec ball with my kid. You're doing travel ball.
Yeah, we started off this weekend. This was our first legit tournament. We finished third in, semifinals. We made it to the semifinals. Knocked out then. It was a 10U tournament. I mean, be playing with some older
And this is
kids
y'all's first tournament as a team.
First, yeah.
Like as a
First
10-year-old,
legit
as a U10
Yep.
group. Yeah.
Yep. So, they did real good.
I'm interested in how my group's going to go this year. You know, we've talked about it before. Like I've got a new team.
Yeah.
There's only like 2 or 3 kids that are from previous teams that I've coached, and it's going to be different. A lot of people are learning a lot of fun stuff that the kids are excited about. But man, we've got, I don't know. There's a lot for us to learn.
Yeah. Like getting hit by the pitch this year, I think, is on just weighing heavy on everybody's shoulders. Yeah.
I'm not seeing it as much, and that really I expected it to be more of a fear.
No.
But there's a handful of kids that are afraid to get in the box.
We had some rough ones this weekend, man. This old boy caught one kind of like right here in the collarbone, throat, or whatever.
He turned into it, didn't he?
Yeah, he shrugged it off though, man. We're tough, but no, we kicked that off. We got tournaments coming up every weekend for the rest of the summer, more or less.
So I'm about to see a lot less of you. We're gonna have to find a new night to schedule.
We need to squeeze it in through the week. That'd be cool. But spring break then and now. So spring break this week.
Did you do anything for spring break?
Not a thing. I worked. The boy stayed at home, enjoyed his deal. But I actually woke him up at 5:30 Monday morning. I'm like, hey, I do that with my ring on this door. I'm like, hey. And he wakes up, and then Kendall from our bedroom's like, hey, it's spring break. Oh,
like, leave him alone.
Bullshit. I'm sorry. Enjoy it.
Well, we were, Lucas, I remember asking, are we going anywhere this year, Dad? And I was like, probably not, buddy. Like, my work and the wife's work, it's hard to get a vacation in. And I feel really bad because, like, when you think about it, this is how many summers are left.
No, you keep bringing that up, man.
This is how many summers. If we're lucky. Actually, you know what? I've got 1 too many. 2 too many. 8. You've got 8 summers left. 8. And they're going to go away just like this.
And even the last 4 of them, he ain't going to give a shit.
They don't want to go.
Can I go run around here? Can I go do this? Yeah.
So I had to go do some work in Kentucky again this week. And so I was like, let's take the family. Mm-hmm. So on our way up off 65, we stopped at a cave. And we went to what's called Diamond Cave. Okay. And I thought it was going to look really cool with all these sparkly like gems in the wall. No. They have cave bacon. You ever heard of cave bacon?
Nope.
It's that's what they call it. It's these little like you know how you have like the cave formations, right?
Yeah.
And
these stalagmites.
Yeah, and these kind of make a formation of like waves.
Okay.
Where they're like fingers that go. If you imagine my hand with 4 fingers, 5 fingers, right? At the base, all the way up the top, that's what it looks like. So you have these ribs. It almost looks like a lawnmower radiator, if that makes sense. That type of, that's what it looks like in the cave. I thought that's kind of cool. And they're wet and they're shiny.
It's called cave bacon.
Yep, they call it cave bacon. And anywhere that you touch, if, like there's some,
it'll stop the growth.
It stops the growth.
Yeah,
and
goes
it changes
the oil
the
on your
appearance.
hands. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that cave was a lot. It was less than an hour of being in the cave. We walked through it. There's some tight spots. My fat ass barely fit through on one spot.
Oh, it was just little narrow path, little walkways.
And there was an older guy there with some knee problems, and I kind of felt bad for him. But I'm like, you kind of got to know what you're getting into.
Yeah, for real.
And so he like
splunking ain't easy.
Yeah, so he kind of like stopped halfway through. And then later on, the lady shouldn't have never said anything and they've been okay. But she asked the guide, she's like, hey, can I, are we walking back this direction? Because my husband's going to stop back here.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, if he's not here, then I need to go get him. He can't stay by himself.
Sure.
So we had to all wait. And I know that had to be embarrassing.
Yeah, probably.
And
probably. But like you said, man, you kind of got to, you up for it? Did they do the total darkness in that one? Was it
not on
enough?
that one?
Have you experienced total darkness before?
It's really cool.
That's a trip, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. I can't remember. I think it may be. No, it's in wherever Huck Finn was shot. The Adventures of Tom Sawyer is what I mean.
Like down in
south.
And they're saying towards Birmingham, there's Rickwood Caverns or something like that.
Is it Rickwood? I think
they do like a lights out underground where there's literally no light.
Dude, I remember being a kid. That was a trip. It's, you're thinking, oh yeah, it's dark. What is it? No, it's legit. Like I can't see nothing. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like caves and stuff like that.
Now we went through that one, and like as I'm coming down the steps, like that, there's one at the spot where it kind of like looped around, and this guy was like standing at the bottom of the steps, like within a foot of my face. I'm like, dude, like,
was it warm in there?
Kind of, it was humid.
Yeah.
So we walked through it. It was kind of broke up the trip because it was halfway up, and then I went back up. We're in Bardstown, Kentucky. Bourbon capital of the world. All these distilleries and storage warehouses. You know how many places I went to that had, to look at the how the bourbon's made? I've been to one in Tennessee up at the Jack Daniel's distillery.
Yeah, Lynchburg.
Guess how many distilleries I got to go to in the last 2 weeks?
How many?
0.
Oh, shit. Why?
Well, I mean, what 9-year-old wants to go see a distillery, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
And then so this is where it's kind of shitty. Like I worked half the 2-3 days I was there. I worked the half days. So it was like I really didn't get back to the hotel until lunchtime. Yeah. So we didn't get to go do much. But we made the best of it. Got to go to Louisville Slugger Museum. Go see how all the baseball bats were made.
Dude, did you go to the Corvette Museum?
No, I wanted to. We passed it. I said, hey guys, y'all want to go to the Corvette Museum? No, that sounds stupid. I don't like cars. That's what I'm saying. So we'll go one day.
Yeah, I'd like to, especially after the sinkhole. I want to see that.
It's really neat. I went a couple years ago and got to see it. And so they've changed it some more since I've been there because of the sinkhole. They've changed the way they exhibit it. But no, I want to go see it again.
I've never been. I drove past it a bunch.
But yeah, Louisville was and then we get back to the hotel in Kentucky and we turn the news on and they're like, yeah, there was some shootings in Louisville today. And my wife's like, was that the city we were just in? Like, yeah.
Yeah. Everywhere you go, man, there's a city with some stuff.
Yep. So, but no,
we had
fun.
You got any big plans coming up? Because I got one.
Mine are tight.
Yeah, no. I'm about to build me a porch.
It's going to be exciting.
I'm excited. I'm very excited. I hope to throw the frame up this weekend.
Yeah, I could give you a hand in between ball games.
5-quarter board. That's what I can use a hand with. Which I'm just going to shoot it all together. I'm not screwing nothing. I just hook up the compressor and let it.
You got a good nail gun?
No, my dad does.
Okay. So if you need one, I've got one that needs to be used.
Yeah. Bring it over, man. Run some nails through it.
I'll bring my pancake. You got your pancake.
It's going to be 14 by 22.
Be a nice.
14 by 21 and a half, I think. I think it's going to be good.
You got a little spot set up to put the grill?
In my mind, yeah.
Fire pit, spot for the podcast to set up.
Yeah, but we're beyond that, so we'll have to set up in the yard.
Right.
Oh, man. Did you make a bracket this year?
I did. My team just fell out this week.
Oh, damn. Tonight. You made it to the Final Four?
Yep. Tennessee was my team.
Nice.
I picked Tennessee to make it all the way.
Yeah. And you got to quit being biased. Hell, man, you might have. You was 2 games away from having a complete bracket?
So
that's something to be proud of.
My 64 teams, I didn't do great. I was like 80%.
Yeah.
But I picked all but like 1 or 2 of the top 16. And I had my final 8 looked all but 1 team in the final 8.
Yeah.
I had my final 4 looking to be really close. I had everybody pick but Tennessee, or I picked Tennessee. They're the only one in my Final Four that didn't make it. So
That's not bad.
no,
Damn,
so
dude, that's really close.
I felt like it was a good bracket.
Don't they? Isn't it like a big payout? It's like the lottery thing. If you
If you
make
get
a complete
perfect bracket.
bracket, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But dude, the odds of a perfect bracket are so
It hasn't happened,
tough.
but just maybe what?
I don't even know, maybe once. If
Is
that.
it just once?
I mean, I think it's happened. If I don't know the amount of money people are throwing out there, I doubt it would be that much.
Yeah.
There'd be people actually making it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So your big plans. So traveling. You done a lot of traveling with your family over like a summer break or anything? Y'all want some summer trips?
Yeah. We went to the beach once, and then
Your kids travel
I don't
good.
know, man. Yeah. What? So my
Did you bring
deal.
the little one with you too?
Yes, the beach. Yeah, he did better than expected. That tablet keeps him occupied. It is a good brain numbing thing to pass an hour or two. But this actually came from my stepdad and mom rode horses, and they always told me this story of this guy. Somebody would always ask like how much longer they would do trail rides, and they'd be going like a week at a time, just camping and horsing, camping horse, camp horse, and the guy would always say 5 more miles or 4 more miles or what. So then that's just what I started doing with Jaden, and then he'll be like, "How much long? 4 more miles," and then he'll want
Like
to ask
30
for a
minutes.
while.
30 minutes later.
Never know. 4 more miles might be 500.
Then he goes to school. We're gonna run a mile today. He's like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, maybe. Dude, he's got a damn good mile. Well, he did a couple of years ago, last year. He ran like I want to say it was like an 8-minute or
That's pretty good.
eight and some change, maybe sub 9. I'm sure. I can't remember exactly.
My
yeah,
brother
man.
was sharing with me. He's finally gotten in like the 6-7 minute mile club.
Man, it was me and Kendall got on this health kick that lasted 4 days or so, and I was at the gym with her, and I got on a treadmill, and I made myself run a mile, and it was still sub 8, and I proved my point, and that was a few years ago, and I don't have any more points to prove. I did it then. Don't ask me to do it now.
It's been a minute, as you can tell, since I've ran a mile. I've walked a mile.
Sure, yeah.
I can tell you what it's like to run a mile, and I can tell you how to run a mile.
Mm-mm.
I know what it feels like to run a mile or
Sure,
more.
Yeah.
I think the most I've ever ran is 10 miles.
Never done more than one consecutive.
Never needed to, right?
No, hell no. You see me running, help me.
Yeah.
Or run too.
If you see me running, you better keep up.
Yeah, no doubt. Don't be the slower one. Don't do that.
But yeah, I've got I don't know, man. I've always avoided traveling with kids, and I think I feel bad because almost like I've not had the vacations I need because I don't want to take kids.
Yeah, dude. I've traveled to Colorado with 2 other people in a sedan with a dog and a crate. It was a good trip. We had a lot of fun.
But yeah, and so I kind of self-reflect. It's like, man, I really should do more. But it's like I get aggravated when you get I go back to expectation. Like you're putting all this money, time, and energy, taking off work, spending money for hotels and events for kids not to enjoy it, and it takes the desire to go do something out when you get the first inconsiderate smart-ass remark.
And we got so much stuff that we can do down here. That's more my thing. It's like instead of going to one big place on a week, it's like we could go to there's 20 waterfalls within 2 or 3 hour trips and hiking trails.
So much to do.
So I'm fishing. We just went to the little pond today. I mean, we killed a few hours there. I had fun.
You make good moments during that.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more then you can be more spontaneous. You got more options.
It's like I looked at like buying a camper, and it's like you're going to spend 15 to 30 grand on a camper. Bro. I was like, if I divide up how much I'd have to spend, even if you put it on a monthly payment, it's like I could go spend that on renting a cabin.
Yeah, and like camping and the glamping and stuff, I think you lose the luxury of the bonding time. Is everybody's just gonna be like
sitting
laid up in a room on a TV or just like you would at home. Yeah, you're just moving home to some place in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cody, man, you want to run through these would you rathers?
You ready to wrap it up, man?
Yep, I'm about to piss my pants, bro.
Let's do it. Spring struggles. Would you rather have to mow your lawn twice a week or deal with this pollen all year long?
I'm going to take twice a week.
Rather mow. This pollen's been a bitch, man.
Yeah, no, I'm just glad it ain't got me yet. All right, buddy, let me give you one. Spring break chaos. Would you rather take your kids on a 12-hour road trip with no tablets or take them on a plane with a screaming baby next to you the entire flight?
I'll take the screaming baby.
Really?
Yeah, because like your flight's only gonna be a couple hours, and I got headphones to cover it in.
I'm going to take the one with no tablets just because I already know that it's just going to be a pain going through the plane process with mine.
So,
Hey, I'm going to give you this next one too
okay.
because I'm not too involved in March Madness. Would you rather have your bracket be completely busted on the first day or lose the championship game by 1 point in overtime? Hell, you're almost there.
I know,
so,
right?
Yeah.
It's a points thing. I'd almost rather lose the championship because you get so many points for every win.
Oh, so you're benefiting off of it?
You can benefit off of it.
I see. I didn't even know. I need to start throwing me one together or letting you make one for me at least.
Right. So let's see. Would you rather have your porch? Would you rather build your porch by yourself and have it be slightly crooked, or pay someone way too much money to have it done
Slightly
perfect?
crooked, baby, like the rest of my house.
Say-
And I did all the work too.
So you'd rather save that money, right?
Absolutely.
And you're the only one that's probably gonna know it's crooked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. There's a lot of stuff I could show you wrong with my place.
Man, tonight we made it quick.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
school night.
Short and sweet. We got to get the Monday rolling
We gotta keep the wives happy.
for sure.
So,
And we got to drain the main vein,
ooh,
Cody.
man,
I'm
enjoyed
out.
it. Have a good one, guys.
You as well.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Stay classy. Actually, be mad at me if I don't say it.